Hello guys and welcome back to our YouTube channel. I am your दोस्त your host पुनेरी जवेरी and आपने बहुत सारे ऐसे वीडियोस देखे रहेंगे जहाँ पे लोग लेह लद्दाख कर रहे हैं या फिर लॉन्ग राइड्स पे जा रहे हैं और आपको भी ऐसा ही करना है, एक लॉन्ग राइड पे जाना है बट आपको पता नहीं कि आपकी बाइक कैसे सर्विस करनी है या फिर आपसे सर्विस सेंटर में जाके बोल देते हो कि मुझे लॉन्ग राइड पे जाना है और वो लोग सर्विस करके देते हो आपकी बाइक। बट हम आपको दिखाएंगे कि एग्जैक्टली हम कौन से तरह से अपनी बाइक प्रिपेयर करते हैं फॉर द लॉन्ग राइड्स, बी इट लेह लद्दाख, बी इट कन्याकुमारी, बी इट एनी ऑफ द राइड्स। वी विल शो यू द टाइप ऑफ सर्विसिंग और द टाइप ऑफ things that we do to prepare our bikes. So this is an optional thing that you all can opt for, that is a fly screen.
चल ये सब हटा, अभी अपना वाला लगा।
Yeah, Justin Diamond, Alvin, let's go. Yeah. I'm in the whip with authority, looking like Sky Bree, she got a body, ayy. And she been
So guys, before I start with the servicing part, I want to take you all through the important accessories that you should fit on your motorcycle. So we'll start from the top, that is the knuckle guards. These are really important because if you all crash, पहले तुम्हारा जो ये अपना क्लच या ब्रेक लिवर्स है वो टूटने के चांसेस मैक्सिमम रहते हैं, तो दिस विल प्रोटेक्ट दैट एंड प्लस दे विल ऑल्सो प्रोटेक्ट योर नकल्स एट द सेम टाइम। दूसरा चीज़ है अपना फॉग लाइट्स. Fog lights, if you all are planning to ride in the night after say 7 or 8 o'clock or in the morning, that is say 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning without less sunlight, then fog lights are very necessary and that is the most important thing while going on a highway run. The third important part are the crash guards, because the impact should always be on your crash guards and not on your bike or your frame. The fourth or the fifth important thing is the sump guard out here, which is the bash, which is also known as the bash plate, and it is important so that it protects the engine from the bottom. If the rocks hit from the bottom, then it will protect it from the bottom. And one of the very underrated ones, which I would say, is an engine case. Now engine case does not come in all the bikes, but the bikes which get engine case will usually be around the engine right here. It will only protect the engine part of it, so that if any speed breakers or if any rocks come and directly hit your engine case, so it will protect that. That is why it is known as the engine case guard. So these are important, and of course all the bikes will have different kind of guards. That is out here I have the Street 390 version and out here is the ADV 390 bike. So what happens is ADV might have it pre-installed, however the street bikes is usually made for the streets, that is for racing. If you'll take this for off-roading purpose, or if you'll take this for Leh Ladakh as well, you would need at least the radiator guards and the sump guard or the bash plate, which comes pre-installed for the ADV bikes on your street bikes as well. It will help you all a lot, and the crashes will, or the engine won't take a hit that much as well. So these are the two type of bikes that I have right now, and all these two type of bikes will have different kind of capabilities, of course. And also I will like you all to note that it's not about the categories I'm talking about, but also the age of the bike comes into picture while servicing your bike as well. So on the left I have an ADV 390 which was bought 6 or 8 months back, that is in October 2024, while my bike, that is a KTM Duke 390, I bought this in 2020 in the month of October as well. So this is 5 years old bike versus 8 months old bike. So we are going to take you all through the different type of service parts or replacement parts of your bike which is needed according to the age of your bike as well. So now coming to the actual servicing. Always before a long ride, it is mandatory and compulsory to change your engine oil, which is one of the most essential and important things to do. Secondly, what I would prefer is, or after, before every long ride, what I would do is change the brake oil. That happens once in a year at least. So if you've not changed your brake oil from such a long time, it is very good, or it is much needed that you change your brake oil to keep your brakes maintained. Thirdly is the coolant. Check the level of coolant. If it is up to the mark, then you do not need to change it. But what I do for my bike, that is a performance oriented bike, that is I have used engine ice coolant. So before every long ride, I flush out the old coolant and replace it with a new coolant completely. While the Adventure 390 has a stock coolant, so he just tops it up before the long ride. One is the spark plugs. So what I would suggest is the fourth one is the spark plug. What I would suggest is that before every long ride or before a very big long ride, that is 6,000 kilometers, I would suggest to change your spark plugs and replace it with a newer one. On the 390 Duke, I have the Iridium spark plug, which is a performance oriented spark plug, but I also make sure that I change it before every long ride, while the ADV has the stock one, which should be replaced before every long ride as well. Now talking about the spark plugs, the fifth major thing that should be checked is the brakes. The brake pads and the brake rotors should be checked. The brake pads, I would suggest, or I would do, is like I would replace it before long ride, and I would carry the used brake pads with me, so if something happens, I can replace it on the go. While the brake rotors, if it's necessary, you can change your brake rotors. Also make sure that you tell your service or ask your service center guy to service the brake calipers as well, so that it is much better while having the brakes, while applying the brakes. It is much better, and it acts much better in that way. Now going on to the next one. We've talked about the brakes, we've talked about the engine oil, we've talked about the coolant, we've talked about the spark plug. The main or the most important thing after that is the air filter. Air filters make sure that the air to your engine flow becomes better, so changing that or replacing before a long ride is necessary and mandatory. It's not a suggestion, but it is mandatory to change your air filter before every long ride. Now depends on your age of the bike as well. If you've serviced it just 1 month prior to your long ride, it's okay if you do not replace it. And if you have a BMC or a K&N performance air filter, of course you just need to clean it, and you have to again put it back in, because it's a reusable air filter, so you do not have to replace them. But a stock air filter should be replaced before every long ride. To the next part is the chain sprocket or the chain, which is very important while moving your bike, of course. So you do not want your chain to get loosened or to break right in middle of the ride, so that your ride just goes for a toss. No, you do not want to do it. I do not want to take that risk as well. So what I would do is, or what I do to my chain is, I would keep a check on the chain intervals or the chain setting. If it's on the last or the second last chain and I'm going for a long ride, I would replace my chain sprocket completely. I do not want to take a risk that नहीं यार आने के बाद अपन chain replace कर देंगे तब तक तो चल जाएगी. क्या अगर आपने सोचा है कि अगर आपने राइड के वक्त वो चेन लूज़ हो गई और आपका राइड उधर ही ख़त्म हो गया, तो आप क्या करोगे? Of course you do not want to take that risk, so please go ahead and change your chain sprocket if it's on the last or the second last setting. If it's new, you do not need to change it. Just tighten your chain, lube your chain properly, and then you can take your bike for a long ride, which is very nice. And also, while changing your chain sprocket, it's always better that you change the rubber bushing inside the tire as well, so that it becomes much better. And of course, what I would suggest is, while also tightening your chain, you can always ask the service center guy to check the rubber bushing once inside the tire, so that at least it shouldn't fall apart from each other. The rubber bushings or the rubber couplings are nothing but two couples that are interlinked with each other. If they are not interlinked, मतलब उनका divorce हो गया, वो अपने को चाहिए नहीं. We want one proper coupling, and there has to be a proper coupling, and the rubber shouldn't be worn or torn from inside. So you can replace them. It is a very good suggestion that you change your rubber couplings before every long ride. Now we spoke about the chain sprocket, so the next thing that you should make sure is the foundation bolt is well intact. Your swing arm bolts or the bushings are well intact and tightened up, so that it does not get loosened up. Also make sure while tightening your chain sprocket, your axle bolt is tight enough. You do not want a loose axle bolt, नहीं तो मेरे जैसे हो जाएगा on the go, मेरा axle bolt निकल के दूसरे जगह पे चला गया था, because I did not tighten it up. So you do not want that. So while tightening your chain, make sure your axle bolt is tight enough as well. Important topic, or the next important thing to check, are the tires. If you have a worn tire, I would recommend you please replace it right away. But if your tire is completely new, then it's fine. But while replacing your tire, have you all ever checked the tire bearings? If not, please check them. If it's completely gone, replace it, because we changed the exterior part, that is the tire, but we forget to check the bearings. So, and also it's recommended that after every 30,000 kilometers you change your bearings, so it becomes much better, and you do not face any problems while on the long ride, or even on a day-to-day basis. If you're taking your bike on in the locals as well, it is always preferred that you change your bearings after every 30,000 kilometers. So now we've spoken about the exterior part. Now going on the interior part, that is, we will talk about the electricals, because nowadays your entire bike comes with a lot of electronics. So make sure that all your electrical wires are up to date and there are no cuts in between, otherwise there's going to be a lot of problems. Now talking about the electrical wires as well, we're talking about the fuses. So if your bike needs a fuse replacement, please change all the fuses, right from the smaller ones till the bigger ones. Do not keep any fuse just laying around. Also carry extra fuses with you so that you can replace it while on the go on the ride. Now talking about the fuses, we'll talk about relays. That is the RR unit which keeps your battery as well running, and the relays that will keep your different kind of relays have different kind of functionality. Each relay has one functionality which, if required, please replace them, because if the older the bike gets, the replacement is needed. The relays are required or recommended to be replaced is after every I would say 3 years. I changed my relays just after 3 years of my bike. Now I'm going to change it once again before we move on to our lay trip, which you will see in the upcoming videos as well. So if you've not followed this channel or subscribed this channel, do like, share and subscribe for all our Leh Ladakh videos as well, which is going to come in the month of August. Okay, coming back to the video. Now we spoke about the relays as well. Coming to the next part, that is the batteries. The recommended period to change your battery is every 2.5 years. And if your voltage, nowadays the bikes have become so advanced that you get to check the voltage of your battery right on the display. So my bike shows the amount of voltage that is there on the start and when the bike is on ignition as well. So according to that, you can take a call if you need a replacement. Also, you can ask your service center people to either check the battery or to replace it if it's required, or charge it if that is also required. You do not have to always replace the batteries. You can. So अगर आपने वीडियो इधर तक देखा है तो आई वुड ऑल्सो लाइक टू शेयर अ प्रो टिप विथ ऑल यू गाइज, दैट एक टूल किट आपको एवरी टाइम दिया जाता है व्हेन यू परचेज अ बाइक. So in that toolkit there are different kind of tools that is specifically for your bike. So make sure that those toolkits are always with you inside your bike. If there is also one tool which is missing, please go ahead, ask the service center guy to get that for you or replace it for you and take that on your long ride as well. So इधर हम लोग ये वीडियो का एंड करते before ending I would like to know what kind of things that you do differently from the ones which I have specified during your servicing or before you go for a long ride, or some things I might have missed that y'all do differently. Please comment in down in the comment section. Of course it is open for all the viewers, and let us know so that next time we can get that thing, or next time I can do that thing on my bike as well. So that's it from my side. I'll take a leave. Bye bye, take care.
That Molly, yeah. Abu Dhabi, with a bad bitch look like Scotty, ooh. Right beside me, in the phantom off that Molly, yeah. Abu Dhabi, with a bad bitch look like Scotty, ooh. Right beside me, in the phantom off that Molly, yeah.